Good morning. Good morning. So I am doing Your Best Life with Lisa live from my home, my dining room, actually. And today I'm really excited because my guest is Demetria Green from WPHL
Good
17.
morning.
Oh my God, I'm so happy to have you. Thank you for taking the time from your day with your baby and your husband. It's a Sunday and you're not working and you're taking the time to talk to me. So I really appreciate that. And thank you so much.
Well, thank you for inviting me. There's no other place I'd rather be than talking with you. You're a great person. So,
Oh, I love you. You and I met literally like when I was on PHL 17.
yes,
The producer Matt was like, you're gonna be with Demetria, and I was like, okay, and then we like bonded immediately.
we really did. Our kindred spirits.
Really, you know what you make. If I didn't know better that you were from Philly, I would say that you're from Philly, girl, because I'm live in Jersey right now, but I grew up born and raised in Philadelphia. And anytime I talk to somebody who there's like that kindred, easygoing vibe, I always say, are you from Philly? And usually they are. So, but you're not. You're originally from Chicago, right?
Yes. I'm from the suburbs of Chicago, born and raised.
That's awesome. And I love your background, the fact that you didn't go to school for journalism. What was
No,
your,
I didn't.
I didn't know that. So you were a business major, right?
Because when I was getting ready to go to school, I always loved journalism. But my father, I was the first person in my family to get ready to go to college. So he said, I want you to go out there. I want you to make money, as you know, most parents say that. And I want you to get a business degree because that's where it is. So that's what I did. I went to school, got my business degree, but I always knew in my heart I wanted to pursue journalism.
So how long did you go in corporate world for a couple of years?
I did. I was in corporate in America for about maybe 5 or 6 years before I decided to just hang it up and just put all my eggs in one basket and just try journalism. And I'm telling you, Lisa, that was the scariest thing I could have ever done because I didn't have like a safety net under that. Like I had
Right.
some savings from corporate America,
Mm-hmm.
but after that, like I'm going into this industry. All the people in it were younger than me in my first market. And they're looking at me like, you should be more successful. Like you've already graduated, you've done all these things. And I'm like, no, I'm just starting, at the bottom. I had an intern first, no money, then go to my first job where I was only making like $5 to $6 an hour. It was rough.
That's an incredible story though, because you're living your motto. So when I was reading your bio, it says, build the future you want. So you really are living the life that you wanted. So you're living this corporate job. Wow. I'm impressed, Demetria, because I live in the corporate world right now, and thank God I have this outlet on the weekends to do it. But yeah, nothing would probably make me happier than you guys, PHL, saying we want you. But there's my plug.
That could happen soon. Keep saying it.
I'm putting it out into the universe. But
exactly.
so tell me what it was like, because there's all different. I'm not sure who's going to be watching this interview, but maybe there's a young woman out there right now that's like, I really want to go into journalism, and maybe she doesn't. You said it was hard. It takes a lot of courage, right?
It does. It takes a lot of courage and a lot of perseverance because in this industry, you are going to hear no so many times, but you have to just keep working at it. I think when I was, when I decided to get out of corporate America, I ended up working for a TV station in Chicago. And the only reason I got that opportunity is because I kept going to the station week after week. So I started off as an intern. They didn't even want to bring me on as an intern. And trust me, I'm like, why don't you want this free labor? But they didn't want to bring me on.
How did you get the internship?
Because I kept calling. I kept calling them week after week. I kept calling. I said, hey, do you have an opening? They're like, we want somebody who has journalism experience. Well, I don't have that, but I'm willing to work hard. Whatever you need me to do, I'm willing to work hard. And eventually someone took a chance and they said, okay, we'll let you come on. So then after I was on, they said, okay, well, we have a break for about 6 months. And from that time, call us every month. And if we have something available, then you can start. Now, of course, that was a test to see if I was actually going to do it. But I did. And I was able to get on as a production assistant. And
That's
basically,
awesome.
I ran errands, Lisa. I picked up dry cleaning for the anchors.
That is an incredible story.
Got coffee.
It is true. I don't know if you ever heard of a motivational speaker. His name is Les Brown.
Yes, I have.
I love Les Brown. He's
so good.
He's one of my favorite motivational speakers. And he tells the story and he says, you have to be hungry. You have to be hungry. And he tells this story about how he always wanted to be on radio. So he did exactly what you just said. You know, he went and got an internship, and he kept knocking on the door, and they're like, we don't want you. And then finally he got it. And then he talks about this. He finally gets this opportunity to be on radio. You know, it's kind of like, it's me during the pandemic calling Matt, when are you going to get me back?
Please, when you want to get me on? I understand.
I do think, you know, I love that you're sharing this, because there's so much to be said about perseverance and drive. Like, we look at you, I look at you, you know, and we can make judgments. Everybody does that. Let's like call it like we say it, you know.
Right.
Be a beautiful woman sitting at the anchor desk, and we're like, oh, she got there on her pure good looks, or you know what I mean? It's not like that at all. You really worked your way up.
Right. I had to try to get other people to see and believe in my dream, since I didn't have that background. I didn't have that resume that so many other people brought to the table. So the only thing I could show was, hey, I will work hard. I would do whatever you want me to do. Just give me an opportunity.
So you served as a producer, everything, like, and then
it was a production assistant.
Okay.
Back there in Chicago. And then from there, I was able to work with Emmy Award-winning journalists. They gave me some advice. They're like, you need to do this, you need to do that. And from there, I was able to land a job in Dothan, Alabama. And that's where I served as a producer, a reporter, a writer, a camera woman. Like, I did everything just to get my feet wet, because I wasn't sure which way I was going to go.
Right.
But let me just make sure that I'm skilled at everything if they need me.
That's awesome. So what advice would you give to the young reporter who's just starting out? You know, I am an alum. I always have to give a big shout out to Temple, my Temple Owls. And, you know, there's a ton of journalists that are in this market, in the Philadelphia market, that went to Temple. And, you know, Rowan is a big up and coming school for journalism as well. What advice would you give to that young journalist that's just starting out? Maybe there's a lesson or two, Demetria, that you could share with them that you wish somebody would have told you when you first started out.
I think one piece of advice that our former anchor told me when I was just getting my foot in the door, she said, always say yes. And I was like, what does that mean? I always say yes. She's like, anytime they ask you for something, always say yes. I'm like, but I don't want to get taken advantage of. She's like, trust me, it will come through in the end. And time after time, it always happened, because they would need somebody to work overtime. I would say, yes, I can definitely do it. Hey, Demetria, we need somebody to go out here. It's not going to be glamorous, but we need you to shoot for somebody else. Yes, I can do it. And I think because I was able to volunteer myself, and they saw that, hey, she is willing to do these things, it led to other doors to be opened and more opportunities. So that's one piece of advice. Always say yes. The second thing I wish someone would have told me is not to take everything personal. Especially in this age of like social media, people always have opinions. They are going to say things. You may think you did something amazing, and then you get on the internet, they're like, that was horrible. Why did she do that? Why did she say it? And
you definitely have to have thick skin for this.
You have to. You really, really have to. And so from that, even like those negative criticisms that I get, I'm trying to find, okay, so what are they really trying to get at? Is it maybe the way that I said it? Is it my cadence? Is it my delivery? Like, what is it that I can do to try to improve and become better and not take it so hard? Because sometimes I'm like, okay, well, let me just stop. Maybe I shouldn't do this anymore. Maybe this is a sign from the universe saying, just end this, get out of journalism. But I'm trying to find the beauty in everything and trying to find that silver lining.
You know what? I love that you just shared your vulnerability, because I think a lot of times people, you know, like you were saying, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. We all question ourselves sometimes, you know, like that's awesome, because even me, you know, I do a TV show at Temple, and I'm also with, I would say I'm a regular contributor with you guys now, which I love, right? And sometimes I sit there and I go, oh, well, maybe I was too this or too that, but you know, I get up and hug you on a regular basis. I don't know the next time I'm going to be able to hug you, but I think it's so important. And I love what you said, that always try to find the silver lining, you know, in everything. And so this might be a tough question for you, but are you finding a silver lining right now with the pandemic?
That is very tough. This has really, really been hard. Very, very hard, because I'm very close to my family. I want to spend time with them. My sister, she just had a baby, so I want to really be there for my nephew. But I think the biggest thing that I've learned being able to stay in the house is that I'm appreciating other things that I really didn't as much. So I'm spending so much quality time with my husband. We're getting back to becoming friends, if that makes any sense. Because when we had the baby, it was just always baby mode. Okay, I have to do this. Let's be there for the baby. But now we're starting to develop that friendship. Oh yeah, we did used to like watching movies together. We did we just learned how to salsa dance yesterday. So we're trying different
I
things.
love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Wait. How did you do it? You put it on YouTube?
We just went on YouTube.
Because my fiance's coming over just tomorrow. I don't know what we're going to do. Maybe we'll salsa dance.
You should. And it's just like trying new things, reaching out to other people. Like I'm getting in contact with my parents. I talk to them often, my grandparents, making sure that everybody is okay. And it's not just the superficial, hey, how are you doing? You okay? Like really asking those questions. What's going on? Is there anything I can help you with? And I think that's the silver lining throughout this whole thing, because it is kind of bringing us together.
It really is. I asked that question because I was asked to write about that for a Real Simple magazine, write the silver linings, and I had to think of a couple. So now I think it's a great question. I'm just going to throw it out to everybody, but
it's great.
So there's silver lining, but here's, you and I were talking about it. You had your baby. What was the actual date that you actually delivered that beauty?
January 3rd.
Okay. So you had your baby, you went on maternity leave, we all missed you. Then you came back. You came back. I got to get out of this habit of like leaning into the computer because I think I'm leaning in the hug.
Me too. That's what I do too. I need to sit back.
I don't like sit back. Anyway, my producer at Temple is going to say, stop doing that. Anyway, so you came back. I saw you. We saw each other. I did a segment. I don't remember which one it was, but and then the pandemic hit, and then I got the call saying, it's all going to be Skype and nobody can come into the studio. And what's it been like? So I know Monica's there. I
love her.
Hilarious. She makes me literally laugh. Like I wake up every morning to you guys because I always text you every morning. And then you got Nick, he's always our serious, news guy, right?
Yeah.
You're like the sunshine. And then, you have Jenna who's doing the traffic and she's in her home. What is it like working in the media right now during this pandemic for you and the team?
It's different. We just never know what to expect every single day, especially with something like this going on, because usually it's a news story and you're kind of removed from it. But now it's like, this stuff is affecting my family members, my friends. Before I got on this interview with you, I got a call from my girlfriend. Her father just passed away this morning from it. So it's a really different beast that we're trying to work with. And we're trying to make sure that we address it in a serious manner, but we also try to brighten up your day, like you said as well, because you can only take so much of it. I am a news hound. I'm a news junkie. I like to come home, watch every news station. But now since this hit, I can't do that anymore. I have to turn it off. I have to find a balance. I have to turn some of that off and get back with my family or get back with my friends or do something like that. And I think that's what we're trying to bring across with the news too. We're making sure that we're telling you what's going on. We're keeping you abreast of all the updates and the latest news, but we also want to make you smile because there are other things that are going on that could bring joy too. So it is so weird not having Jenna in the studio now that she has to work home. They're probably going to send Monica home next.
What?
And that's just, yes.
What?
Yes.
You send Monica home? Oh my God.
That's going to be so weird.
Oh, are they taking turns sending people home?
What they're thinking about eventually is to have just like one person in the studio. So just having the one anchor and then like me or Nick, one of us will work from home. Eventually everybody will be out of there. That's the plan. I don't know if it's going to happen. It depends on what happens with this virus. But that's an exclusive. You heard that from me first.
It's interesting what you said though, because, I do healthcare. I'm a vice president of communications for a healthcare company Monday through Friday. And so last week I was asked to do a motivational talk with the people that are working with the patients, and the COVID patients, and they're working on the front lines. And I thought, what could I possibly say or do to offer them. And we talked about all the emotions. We did this whole thing, but at the end of the day, we still laughed. And I think you're right. We still need to find time to laugh and remind ourselves that there is truly, I keep saying there's an end to the light. I mean, there's
exactly.
there's a light at the end of this tunnel. We don't know when it's going to be, we have to remain optimistic that we're not going to live like this forever. Mm-hmm. Right. You have to remain hopeful. And my condolences to your friend on her father. That's really sad. But so I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I have a couple more favors to ask. is your beautiful daughter up? Would you like to introduce her to everybody?
She is right here. Her name is Madeline Green.
She is a beauty.
Thank you. Her dad dressed her, so don't get mad at me about the outfit.
So cute. Oh my God, I love it.
You're looking at the wrong way. There we go. Look here at the screen. Say hi. Say hi, Auntie Lisa.
Hi, Madeline.
This way, right here, right there.
Oh my God,
okay, she's
so cute.
She's all over the place.
How old is she? How old is she now? I'm not good at math.
No, she'll be 4 months on Friday, next Friday.
It feels like just the other day you had this baby.
It does.
So happy that you're getting this quality time with her because, you know, honestly, I'm a mom. I have a 25-year-old and a 16-year-old, and it goes really fast, Demetria. Just enjoy every single second, even when it's hard and you say, oh my God, am I ever going to get through this? I need my sleep. I need my, listen, before you, this sleep.
I'm so tired.
This was the hardest part. I remember that thinking like, why don't people really tell you this? And so I have a very good friend said to me one day, she said, you're the only person that ever told me the truth about what it's like to be a new mom. I'm like, I just wanted to set it up. I wanted to prepare you for that. But you are completely living your mantra of build the future you want before you go. And I'm going to let you go, but I know you're from Chicago. So here's my question. What is your favorite food to eat in Chicago? I love Chicago too. So if you're going to visit in Chicago, if people are going to visit in Chicago, what would you recommend they eat?
They have to definitely try the deep dish pizza. Everybody always talks about Giordano's, but I'm a huge fan of this place called Lou Malnati's. They have some really, really good sauce. So you definitely have to get the deep dish pizza from Lou Malnati's.
Awesome. Now, here's the big test. You're a Philly girl now.
Yes.
You're a Philly girl. So what is your favorite thing to eat from Philadelphia so far?
Okay. So my favorite thing so far is the buffalo cheesesteak. But you have to get it from Dellasandros. You have to get it from there. I've tried so many different places. And yeah, the other places are pretty good. But so far, the best to me is Dellasandros.
Well, Dellasandros is, I'm going to send this, I'm going to tag Dellasandros. And they're going to be really, really happy. But you know what, Demetria, I will let you go because I know you're with your family. I think you gave a lot of really good tips. If somebody wants to reach out, you know, a young journalist, somebody who just wants to ask you a question or two, what's the best way to reach you?
I'm always on Instagram, so that's Demetria PHL17. You can find me there, as well as just shoot me an email. That's dgreen@phl17.com.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time. You know, I love you. Oh God, I miss you, and I love the whole team. And please tell them that I miss them. And I'm going to be on Friday, so I'll see you on Friday. Yay! Have a great day.
I do have to say something really quick before we wrap it up. I just want to thank you for what you're doing. And I really admire you for following your passion, because there are so many other things that you could be doing right now. So many people are like upset. Oh, I wish I would do this. I wish I would do that. I never had the opportunity, but you are definitely making your own lane. So I really admire you for that.
Now you're going to make me cry. Oh. Thank you very much. Well, you know, I've always wanted to be on television because I always thought, I don't know why I always thought it was good at telling stories, sharing stories. And I think there's such a need today, even more than ever before, to share people's stories, the positive stories. And your story is amazing. And so I'll keep on doing what I'm doing as long as people are watching. So thank you so much, sweetheart. I love you. And I'll see you on Friday.
Yes, I'll see you on Friday. Say bye, Madeline.
Bye, Madeline.
Take care.